Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 352 Blitz. We got Ed and Jay Butt here with us tonight. And obviously, as you guys know, we're getting towards the middle of August, which means football season is coming up slowly but surely. It's been a long off season. Been a long summer for a lot of us here too, as well. But we're grinding. But before we get into it, you guys know the drill. Go ahead and follow us everywhere. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. When I say everywhere, I mean Twitter, X, Threads, Instagram, all that good stuff. Follow us there at 352 Blitz. Like I said, if you think we say something crazy or out of pocket, or you disagree with anything we said, let us know your take. We love to hear what you guys got to say. We love to argue. We love to hear comments on that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, also, last week we recorded an episode with two. I think they're juniors now, high school juniors that are getting heavily recruited, and they're actually from the area that we grew up in. So if you guys have had a chance to check out that episode, check it out. It's great to hear their side of things, and great to hear their stories and upbringing and all that good stuff. But
Also,
let's go. Go ahead, bro. Yes, Twitter. Follow us there.
yeah,
Twitter/X 352 Blitz.
We got verified.
I
Oh, we got
verified.
we're verified. So
Verified.
we allowed
Yeah.
enough to cut us a check soon. Sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely check that episode out. It's out on YouTube as of last Thursday, and also on Twitter. You can also watch it as well. It's a great interview. We hope to keep doing it with other guys around the area. And then also do like a end. I was thinking of maybe doing like an end of the season type of interview. See what happened during the season, how they think they progress, and how their offers are going. Because I know this is the time that they're going to start picking up like crazy. But yeah, man, let's get into it, Greg. Let's get into it.
For sure. All right, so I think this past draft we had a lot of good receivers that were drafted, and almost all of them, especially ones in the first round, have been making some noise in their respective camps, right? So I'll start with you, Ed. Which rookie wide receiver are you most for looking? Damn, I can't talk today. Most excited to see play.
So I'm gonna give you the unbiased, the fantasy unbiased for me. I'm excited to see JSN just because um he's on a. Can y'all hear me twice, or are we good?
No, you're good.
You good now?
Okay. So I'm excited to see him because he's with Geno Smith, who had a great year, and then he also is going to be playing along with DK Metcalf, who's we've known we've seen what he's done for the past 3-4 years, and then also Tyler Lockett. This is going to be this is going to be an added dimension for that team because we're talking about like you can just easily move Tyler Lockett to the slot, or you can move JSN to the slot because he's that fast, you know. So I'm excited to see him. That's the unbiased one. Biased one, I'm ready to see Addison, Jordan Addison. I think that's the one. I've drafted him highly in every single fantasy draft that I've done. I think him and what's his name Jefferson are gonna kill it. The problem is obviously Kirk Cousins, but I mean the thing about Kirk Cousins, he can't win games, but he definitely can pass the ball, right?
Yeah.
So Jordan Addison with Jefferson, I think that's a scary offense. You're talking about two receivers that are basically unguardable. We'll see about Jordan Addison in the NFL, but in college, Jordan Addison, I remember his sophomore year, he went for like 1,600 yards, and then he moved over to USC. He didn't have as much production, but he also missed games. So those are the two guys that I'm ready to see. Also, Quentin Johnson with Herbert, that's going to be crazy. I drafted him high as well. So that I think him going there is perfect just because like the two receivers ahead of him either are injured as hell or they just don't really do much as they're supposed to. So Johnson there, he's been killing it all off season. So I'm ready to see how he does in the preseason.
Yeah. I like that. What about you, Jay Butt?
Um, I'm excited to see Zay Flowers. I've heard a lot of hype uh, out of the Ravens camp so far about him, saying that he's been looking really good. JSN is another one that I'm also looking forward to seeing. At first, I wasn't really that high on him, but from what I've heard from Seahawks camp as well, he's looking really good.
Facts. You know, I'm gonna take the Ed approach and talk about my non-bias first. JSN is gonna be that dude. We've already heard about a bunch of good things he's been doing with the Seahawks as well. But one person I'm also excited to see is Jalen Hyatt because he's kind of flown under the radar a little bit, and he's got a good chance to get some snaps in New York. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. We all saw what he did at Tennessee, especially in that game against Bama. He had some crazy stats. It was like 6 receptions for 5 touchdowns and 200 yards, something crazy like that. But I've always liked Jalen Hyatt. I drafted him on my team because I've always thought he's going to figure out the NFL. And I'm excited to see him. Also, Zay Flowers, of course, my bias pick. He's a Raven, and we need him to do well because I'm tired of having poor wide receiver playing. You know? So hopefully he shows up. Hopefully we finally do something, especially in the tough AFC. As you guys know, there's like 10 teams that can make the playoffs, or at least 10 teams that have playoff rosters. So we'll see. So also, first week 1 of preseason coming up this weekend. We're excited to see some people play. Also, we just heard that Anthony Richardson got the nod to get his first start, obviously, in the NFL. What do you want to see from him, Ed, in his first game?
What I want to see from AR is just the progression, right? We're all Gator fans here, so we saw what he could have been throughout the season last year if he just had a little bit more experience. But now in the NFL, I just want him to. I just want to see how poised he is behind the offensive line. Right, look through your progressions, and don't be throwing the ball at 90 miles an hour when the receiver is like 5 yards away. Right. I just want to see that progress with him. I think he has all the potential to be. I mean, really to be an all-time great. He has a hell of an arm. He can run out the gym. So. Yeah, that's what I just want to see. I just want to see how poised he is and how he's able to navigate the offense with the Colts.
For sure. About you, Jay Butt?
Can you repeat the question real quick? Is it specifically about AR?
Yeah, it was just about AR, but you can talk about any other quarterbacks you want to see, another rookie quarterback, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, anybody else?
I mean, I feel like we're out of all the rookie quarterbacks, I'm definitely excited to see AR. I'm kind of with Eddie as far as like his take on him, so I'm not going to kind of say the same thing. I just want to see him just kind of progress, show that he's looking comfortable at the new speed of the game. But yeah, that's really it. I do have a question for y'all, but I'm gonna let you go first, and then we'll come back to that about rookie QB.
No, you good. Go ahead. Go ahead and ask the question.
I guess I'll just ask y'all two real quick. So I was watching the Texans game, and CJ Stroud's first drive, he only played one drive. He threw an interception. Is that alarming?
The reason that I'm gonna say
it's just one drive, but it's like his first drive in preseason, and so they didn't let him go back in at all. It just went to the
reason that I'm gonna say no is because his offensive line did absolutely horrible. Like this man wasn't even able to set his feet at all. By the time that he caught the ball from the center, there was already a defensive lineman on his neck. So it was that bad, Greg. Like go back and see that drive. It was horrible. I mean, he had no time. However, I will say that throw that he made, because he did have time to make that throw that he made, he has to see the safety coming down. I mean, the safety was in a zone, and he threw the ball way too late, and he shouldn't even have thrown it that way. If he would have thrown it to the flat, the wide receiver could have blocked the safety, and they could have gone on a first down. So he just needs more time to read his progressions. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to see like that's alarming. That's just the one drive, and half the time he was literally on his ass from getting hit.
Yeah, like Ed said, I think it's not alarming to answer your question. One, because it's preseason, it honestly, in the grand scheme of things, does not matter. And I think they took him out after their first try because they saw how terrible the old lineman was, not because he was doing terrible, not because he was doing a bad job. Go ahead, Ed.
And you can finish. I just have a question for you guys.
For sure. And it's just like he's trying to protect the quarterback, you know what I mean? And then You got guys on the other side that are just trying to make a roster spot. So of course, they're going to go after the quarterback really hard. You rather your second QB, your second or third string QB get beat up than your franchise star. So, but and I think that interception he threw is just a kind of a rookie mistake. You know what I mean? Like you can get away with that kind of stuff in college. You can't get away with that kind of stuff in NFL. You know what I mean? And the fact that your offensive lineman playing horrible is going to have an effect on your decision making as well. So I just think it's going to be a very long year for the Texans. You know what I mean? But to, like I said, answer your original question, no, I don't think it's alarming at all. But go ahead, Ed. What was your question?
So my question was this. I guess it's a two-part question, but did you guys think that David Mills was that bad of a quarterback last year?
No, I don't think he was that bad. They
Yeah,
just don't, their offensive line's just not good, and they don't really have weapons like other than Damian Pierce, but he's like a true running back. They don't really have like a passing or a receiving back. I mean, they got rid of Cooks, but he's starting to come out of his prime. I think the only person they signed didn't they sign Schultz?
They signed Schultz as a tight end. They have Mechie coming back finally after he beat cancer, and they have Tank Dell, who looks pretty good, and then they have another wide receiver there that has potential. I guess the reason that I'm asking this is because I just didn't like. I'm looking at his stats at David Mills, and like you said, there's not really a lot of wide receivers that he had, and he only really had a true running back. That was all he had. He's only 24 years old, and last year he threw for 3,100 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. But this is for a team that went 2-15. So my question, this is my original question: do you guys think that the Texans should have even drafted Stroud, or could have they given David Mills a? I'm sorry, wait a second. Could have they given Mills a? Me cago en la mierda, mano. I hate when people be texting me.
To answer your question, so
I think we knew where you're going with that. So they have given Mills just a contract
No, not a contract because he was still under rookie contract. So they
for
could
like
have just
another year.
just give him another year, and if he does horrible, start tanking again. You can get Caleb Williams or you can get Drake May, which I think are both better options as Stroud, in my opinion.
It's a valid question. I just think they would have if they wouldn't have drafted CJ Stroud, who should they have drafted? You know what I mean? And it's
Will
like, but
So they should have just drafted Will Anderson at the third spot, and
Yeah,
then
they did the trade.
just keep your. Don't do that trade where you lose your 2024 first round pick.
yeah, that's gonna be my question because I didn't know exactly. I don't know if they had a second or third pick. I didn't know what their whole situation was. I don't remember it, but it's a valid question. I think that it was just bad timing for Mills, and I think that the Texans would have felt dumb or ridiculed, or the GM would have got fired if they would have passed up on CJ Stroud. You know what I mean? So I just think they just were put in a weird situation, and Mills was just in a horrible. It was just horrible timing for him with his situation. I hope that he does get a chance down the line to prove himself, but it's just bad luck on his end.
Okay.
Jay,
Yeah. What do you think, Jay Butt?
I kind of am with Greg on this. I think front office would have had a lot of questions to answer had they passed up on Stroud.
But then also remember that Stroud, nobody wanted him. He scored like a 30 something on that QB test, and everybody was like, well, maybe we shouldn't draft him. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like literally a lot of GMs and a lot of front office were like, we're not drafting this guy. So would it have been really that bad for the front office to be like, yo?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this past season was Mills' prove it year. It was because he started 2 years ago, like halfway through the season. He played a pretty good end of the year, and they brought him back for that to be his like prove it year because they noticed something. I mean, when you go 2-15, you can have decent numbers, but
Yeah,
I
but you're
don't
in
see
2-15. Look at the Texans roster though. Like you literally said they had no weapons. And they were tanking on purpose. Because when what was the old coach's name? Lovie Smith, when he won the
Mhm.
one game, he got fired the next day.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I don't know.
I think they're just trying to build a new culture there, new coach, new quarterback, new everything. I think
Right.
that was the biggest.
And I get
biggest
that.
thing.
I respect that. But it's just like if Stroud doesn't work out, you
I think Davis Mills could be a starting quarterback on another team for sure.
fair enough. All right, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, it's a good conversation and it's a valid conversation. I just think, yeah,
Yeah,
they'd rather take a chance on Strode than take a chance on Mills. You know what I mean? So, and yeah. But okay, moving on. So, I want to make sure I get this pulled up right. So, the NFL 100 list was finally completed. I think this past week, and there was a lot of controversy. One of the biggest ones was that Jalen Hurts was put up higher than Joe Burrow. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that's valid, or do you think that's just insane? There's a bunch of other examples, but I think that's the biggest one so far being talked
I
about.
think I think it's valid for what the list is. It's the best players of that year, and Jalen Hurts had a great year last year. He played a great Super Bowl too. If you go look at his numbers in the Super Bowl, he played great all season. He had
Yep.
2.5, 3 games when he was out injured. But other than that, if he would have played then, he probably would have won MVP.
Good point. Good point.
I'm gonna say that that is accurate. Jalen Hurts was a monster last year, and that's not like I'm not saying that Burrow wasn't. I mean, Burrow is phenomenal as well. But like Jay Butt just said, if Jalen Hurts literally would have just played one or two more games, he would have been the MVP of the season. So him being higher, I didn't think Burrow was going to be the MVP. So I'm okay with that list. Now, was a criminal activity is another one, but we'll keep going.
I mean, Jay, but you brought up a valid point saying that yeah, the list is from last year, and it's like uh, Jalen Hurts had an amazing year this past year. I think who was number one? Mahomes. I
Yeah.
mean, we all agree with that for sure. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Burrow had a great year too, though,
He
and
did.
he did fantastic too. And it's just he ran into the Chiefs, and the Chiefs were just hungry because they were 0-3 against him, and then they had to prove a point that game, But I don't know, bro. I still think Joe
And
Burrow.
that's the point of the list too. It's like, and that's why I do like this list the best because it's voted by the players, but it's for each year. So I mean, it's not really saying one quarterback is better than another. It's just saying this one had a better year or this one played better this year. So I mean, to me, Burrow is a better overall quarterback, but I mean, not last year. Overall, if you put the two careers together, Burrow is definitely the better quarterback. I think down the road he will be as well.
Right, for sure, for sure.
It's
Cool,
just, yeah.
cool. Let's see. One more thing I want to talk about real quick. So,
Damn.
yeah. All right. So, past few days, there's been a lot of things that's been released on Netflix. One thing is the Johnny Manziel documentary, and I think we should talk about that a little bit. We all know Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M stud, did his thing, had the big win against Alabama in 2012. Went on to the Browns, and it just didn't really work out. Did that documentary kind of change how you guys looked at Manziel? Or do you guys still kind of look at him the same as you did before?
0.
I felt bad because a 20-year-old with no guidance is. I mean, and think about it. You gave somebody that's 21 years old, crazy amount of money. Well, he wasn't in the league yet. No. 2020. Like if you're 20 years old, man. You're a sophomore. You're a junior in college. You don't know what the hell you're doing with your life, right? And like at Texas A&M from the get go, I mean, what kind of QB development did he get? I mean, most of the time he was just throwing that bitch all the way down the field because Mike Evans was over there. Mike Evans could be triple covered and he would still catch it. And most of it, most of if you look at Manziel's highlights, most of it is throwing it all the way down to Mike Evans, dumping it down to the tight end, or him running it like crazy. And he was elite at that. But he never got guidance from Texas A&M coaches from when he got to the Browns. He never, it's just I feel bad for him because he never got the guidance. But at the end of the day, it has to come within yourself to like be successful, right? Like you can't make somebody want to be successful. It has to be within you. And so I just didn't see that drive with him. But I do feel bad because the guidance in his life was just missing from the get go.
Yeah. Yeah, J Buck, can you talk? Okay, go ahead. I was gonna let you say your piece, J Buck.
Oh no, when I was saying zero, I was just that part about the where the agent got called about the film study, and he's like, he hasn't watched anything, and then Manziel's like zero, never watched film. That shit had me dying.
I got you.
But
So,
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of with that. It was sad to see. I mean, he had, I think it was his friend at the time was like his agent helping him do all the autographs and everything. So it was just kind of sad to see like he really didn't. His parents didn't, even though it seemed like he had an okay family, they weren't really like telling him like what to do or really even helping him. They just like once it got to rehab, that was when it was like, oh, something's wrong with him.
Yep.
yeah, I mean, like I kind of feel bad for him, but then again, it's like what Ed said was really, really important about how it has to be within you. And then I think about guys like, LeBron, who grew up, who had nobody basically guiding him, right? And he basically got out the mud, and then he was growing up looked at as, obviously what he is now, right? Looking up to be the next best great thing. And then he had to live up to that, at such a young age. So it's just like LeBron had that thing that you can't teach, which is the willingness to be great. He stopped at nothing to be great. And it's just like I feel bad, but then I don't feel bad because it's like Johnny Manziel didn't really want it bad enough. He felt like he probably already made it, that he could just kind of like relax. And really, when he got to NFL, that's when the real work really started. You know what I mean? So it was sad to see, him go through
I
all
think
those.
I think that's more what I think that's kind of more my feeling. It's more just sad to see, like the truth of it. Not really that I feel bad for him because, like, I mean, you do it to yourself. You choose your own destiny. But it was just like you're saying. It's sad to see.
Right, because if it's just like something that you can't control that happened to you, like you had some tragic deaths in your family, and that just caused you to fall into depression, and then you just kind of like, fell to drugs or something like that, and then you lost your career, that's one thing. But if you just like decided to just not do the work, and then you just did a bunch of dumb shit, it's really hard for me to really, really feel bad for you. Like it's just a sad situation, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I think it just kind of confirmed we already knew that he just didn't really try, and he had the wrong people around him, and then he just fell, and that was just really it, So
Sorry,
he said,
guys.
he said facts.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, that's all we want to touch on today. I know we got some people who are busy, got to get going soon. We just want to touch on a few things, get an episode out for you guys as well. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Like we always say, if you guys have anything you guys want to tell us as far as that you think our takes are bad, let us know. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear you guys talk. And we got some big things coming up soon. We got a new member of the team that we're going to try to introduce you guys to next week. And we're going to try to get this thing rolling. You know what I mean? So on your way out, go to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow us everywhere if you haven't done that already. And with all that, we'll catch you guys next week. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
Thank y'all.
Man.
See you.